You don't have a lot of money to get started in the stock market, right? And a common question I always get, like, yo, I got $500. How should I start? What do I do to get started investing in stocks? So I figure the best way to answer that is to tell you my story, because that's actually exactly what I started with. I started with $500, right? And the very first stock that I bought, the ticker symbol was PAS, and it was like stood for Pepsi America or something like that. Had something to do with Pepsi. I actually thought I was buying Pepsi stock, but that wasn't even technically Pepsi stock. Only a week later, I spent all $500 on it, and it was like what, $20 a share or something like that. I don't remember, but a week later, some Pepsi bottling deal happened, and the stock shot up like 20 something percent, like 25, 26% or something like that. So I made over $100 within a week. And this was like in 2009. Yeah, because I got into stocks like a little bit after the rebound of 2008. $100 I made in a week without working, without breaking the law, just just living my life and forgetting about it. So that was crazy to me. And I was so excited. I remember I sold it. I was like, okay, cool. I just made $100 something. And I ended up selling my stock a week later, made a quick, easy $100. Now, I do want to tell you this, because I believe that to be, with the benefit of hindsight and what I know now, I know that to be a mistake. Because what? I made $100 on that stock. Had I never sold it, today that my $500 would be worth over around $2,500 or so, give or take, right? And and remember, this is from doing nothing. So we're talking about 5xing. It'll be worth 5 times more today had I never sold it. Okay, now that particular symbol doesn't exist today. Basically what I think what happened is they converted your shares into Pepsi stock and cashed you out, or whatever the case may be. And so, but with the combination of how much Pepsi has went up since that deal, right? And if I had took the cash they gave me and just bought more Pepsi stock, and if I had just let the dividends accumulate, this is without even reinvesting the dividends, it'd worth well over $2,000. Okay, and this is not just me. Warren Buffett, he started with $144.75, which actually in today's money is worth like 2,000, but he still started with less than $500, you know. And he bought Citgo, CITGO. He bought three shares for himself, 3 shares for his sister, so basically 6 shares total. And what happened with him is the stock went down at first, and he got scared. And then when the stock finally, he was just like, yo, when it come back to what I bought it for, I'm gonna sell it. He was scared. His sister was like, yo, what did you do? You know what I'm saying? And so the share price came back up, and it actually went up to he bought it at what, like $38 a share, something like that. It got up to like $40, and he hurried up and sold it. But what happened was the stock continued to go up, and it was worth like over $200 like a year or so later. I don't even know if it took that long. So what you see, what happened in both of our stories is, if we would have held longer, we would have, more than triple, quadruple, pentupled our money. In both cases, or in his case, he would have made way more than I'd have made off Pepsi. And so, what I'm trying to, one of the main points I'm trying to share with you is, you don't need a lot of money to get started, right? I started with a little bit. Warren Buffett started with a little bit. And the mistake that we both made was selling too early, right? He sold more so out of fear. I sold out of excitement. Like, I wanted to hurry up, like, oh, that money's mine, hurry up and protect my profits. And, but once I understood more how equity works, now I clearly see how that was a mistake. And now that I understand, like, how currency works and equity works, and the whole goal with the dollar is to actually devalue it over time, because you don't want a green piece of paper to be worth more than your house one day, right? Like, we it's funny, we talk about like the dollar not being worth what it used to be. We say it like it's a bad thing, and it can be a bad thing if it happens too fast. But we also got to think about the flip side. Like, do you really want a piece of paper to be worth more than your house? No, you want your house to be worth more and more and more of those pieces of paper. You want your car to be worth more and more and more of those pieces of paper. You want the car to be valuable. You want your business to be valuable, right? Because it's a relative relationship. So if you're just starting out, don't psych yourself out, right? It doesn't take 10 years of research and all these crazy things. Like I knew enough to know how to buy a stock. I didn't even realize I wasn't buying Pepsi's official stock. It was like one of the subsidiary companies or something like that. You know what I'm saying? I still was able to be successful, at least on that particular investment. Just open up a brokerage account. And I do recommend either Fidelity or Charles Schwab if you're in it for the long term, because you're able to do things at those brokerages that you're not necessarily able to do with like Webull and Robinhood once your portfolio is worth an X amount. Buy you some shares and go about your life. And continue to add to it. That's what I would say. Don't just invest $500 at one time and then never add to it. Continue to add to your investment. You can add $500 to it every month. By the end of the year, that'll be what? Like $6,000 you didn't invest it in there. So don't worry about not having a large lump sum up front. Don't worry about thinking you're going to just lose it all on your first one. And even if you do, the best teacher is experience. And if you stay the course, you'll learn how to get back with interest. I'm living proof. Okay. And there's plenty of people living proof. Nobody gets it right the first time and was perfect from beginning to end. Like, you're going to make mistakes. Get over that. So just get started. So that's the advice I would give you. Just open up your brokerage firm, open up your brokerage account, buy your stocks, and as you continue to do more research on the stock that you bought or the stocks you want to buy in the future, just continue to add money to your brokerage account and add to your positions over time. That's the advice I would give. And don't be so quick to sell it. Don't sell out of fear and don't sell out of excitement. So anyway, I know this video helped somebody out there. Check you on the next one. Peace.